Let's talk about what's been happening in crypto this week. On August 11th, the nearly 5-year Ripple vs. SEC lawsuit has officially ended, as both sides agreed to withdraw appeals, bringing much-needed regulatory clarity for XRP and the broader crypto sector. XRP rallied strongly after news of the dismissal, with renewed investor confidence in US crypto regulation. On the same day, Ethereum spot ETF saw a record 1 billion net inflow in a single day, showing explosive institutional demand for ETH. These legal and investment milestones helped trigger a bullish trend across major altcoins, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB. The resolution is expected to set a precedent for future digital asset regulation in the US. Experts say new SEC focus will turn toward finally establishing clear industry rules after years of regulation by enforcement. Whales and institutions ramped up accumulation of top cryptos, particularly Ethereum. Regulatory clarity is viewed as a catalyst for renewed sustained capital inflows. On the 12th of August, the July US Consumer Price Index report posted a 0.2% monthly increase, which was in line with expectations. This tame inflation reading boosted investor hopes of a Federal Reserve interest rate cut in September. The bullish macro environment led to a surge across crypto and equities, with Bitcoin breaking above 120k and Ethereum topping 4600. Altcoins including Cardano, Solana, and Litecoin posted strong gains, some outperforming Bitcoin for the day. Institutional sentiment strengthened around both stocks and digital assets, reflecting cross-market momentum. Asian trading hours were a major driver of the rally, underscoring global participation. Positive momentum carried over into traditional markets, with the S&P 500 and Nasdaq near all-time highs. Investors are anticipating more policy support for risk assets like crypto. On the 13th of August, a major crypto exchange by the name of Bullish held a successful IPO on the New York Stock Exchange, closing at $70 per share after opening at $90, positioning the company with a total valuation above $10 billion. The public debut was massively oversubscribed, attracting names like BlackRock and ARK Invest. The success of Bullish highlights surging institutional demand for crypto platforms and assets. The IPO signals Wall Street's growing acceptance of digital asset businesses. Strong demand reflects broader investor optimism and new inflows to the sector. Trading was temporarily halted to cool volatility as shares spiked rapidly. The successful listing is seen as paving the way for more crypto firms to go public. The event reinforced the notion that crypto infrastructure companies are major players in global capital markets. On the 14th of August, Bitcoin broke 124k, becoming the world's fifth largest asset by market cap, overtaking Google's 2.4 trillion. The rally was fueled by rate cut optimism, strong ETF inflows, and friendlier US regulations under President Trump. Ethereum, BNB, and other major altcoins also touched or neared record highs. The crypto market cap surpassed 4.2 trillion at its peak for the week. Later the same day, the release of the US Producer Price Index showed hotter than expected inflation, sparking a rapid crypto correction. Over 1 billion in leveraged long positions were liquidated market-wide. Analysts described the sell-off as profit-taking amid stretched valuations, not a long-term reversal. The sequence illustrated both booming confidence and ongoing volatility in the digital asset markets. Between August 14th and August 15th, Trump signed the Genius Act, the first comprehensive US federal law for stablecoin oversight. Banking associates warned Congress that interest-bearing stablecoins could drain trillions from traditional bank deposits, endangering the US credit system. The Genius Act's effect is now a key battleground, with regulators and politicians debating further stablecoin safeguards. Multiple bipartisan bills were introduced to tighten rules on crypto ATMs and limit potential exploitation or abuse. Washington is under pressure to balance promoting innovation with preventing systematic risks. Traditional banks are lobbying for stricter stablecoin rules to prevent unfair competition. These legislative moves mark the beginning of a new era for stablecoins and digital fiat currencies in the US. The battle for future market structure between crypto and banking interests is heating up. On August 15th, Grayscale filed with the SEC to launch the first ever spot Dogecoin ETF. If approved, this would allow investors to gain Doge exposure without directly owning it, a milestone for meme coin legitimacy. Doge's market cap jumped 2.25% on the news, even as the wider market saw a dip. The move highlights growing institutional interest in crypto beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. The filing is part of a broader surge in crypto ETF activity, with new funds and products debuting nearly weekly. Meme coin sector is often driven by retail speculation and social media trends, and it remains highly volatile, but still influential. The ETF is seen as a test for how far regulators will go in approving riskier assets for public investment. The sector continues to be a battleground between innovation and risk management. On August 16th, the total crypto ETF trading volume for the week hit 40 billion, with Ethereum ETFs leading at 2.85 billion in inflows. On the same day, the US Second Circuit Court accepted the final dismissal in the Ripple case, closing the longest-running crypto legal battle in history. Institutional buyers continue building crypto positions, especially in Ethereum. Ethereum now outperformed Bitcoin for the week, thanks to record ETF inflows and strong whale accumulation. The closure effect of the XRP lawsuit may accelerate new policy and regulatory action at the SEC. Market sentiment improved despite midweek turmoil from US inflation data. The rapid pace of ETF approval and financial innovation further cements crypto's mainstream status. Legal clarity encourages more US firms to enter or expand in digital asset markets. Throughout the week, a string of high-profile crypto hacks saw attackers liquidate over 70 million in stolen funds, cashing in as Ethereum prices peaked near 4.7k. Hackers from earlier DeFi exploits took profits by swapping large Ethereum positions for stablecoins, exposing ongoing vulnerabilities in decentralized platforms. Radiant Capital, Infinite, and several unidentified actors gained tens of millions in extra profits due to the recent rally. The wave of cash-outs underscores persistent security risks in crypto, fueling renewed debate over DeFi protections. Total losses to crypto hacking in 2025 topped 3.1 billion for the first half of the year. The attack did not significantly halt the market rally, but highlighted risks that could affect investor confidence. Calls for stricter security standards and insurance mechanisms are growing. Investors remain wary, and project teams are promoted to accelerate audits and bug bounties. To sum up what's been happening this week, the entire crypto sector saw explosive gains, followed by sharp profit taking. Bitcoin set a new all-time high above 124k, and Ethereum neared 4,800 for the first time in years. BNB and XRP also hit new records before a midweek pullback. The global crypto market cap peaked at 4.2 trillion, before dropping slightly due to inflation shocks. Some of the key drivers include regulatory clarity from the Ripple case and hopes for US Fed rate cuts, and surging ETF inflows for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Volatility spiked midweek following the US PPI release. Over 500 million in leveraged longs were liquidated. Despite the correction, broad institutional participation and ETF demand remained at record levels. Major altcoins such as Cardano, Solana, and some meme coins also outperformed earlier in the week. Security issues and hacks were secondary headwinds, but did not stop new capital or innovation entering the sector. Anyways, that's it from me today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of this week's news? If you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe and follow the channel. I'll be uploading more soon. As always, thank you for watching and take care.